All right, so we're diving deep today into the world of import-export specialists.
Specifically in the chemical products industry.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So we've got,
Big one.
yeah, we got all this great information from RoleCatcher, their career guide, their interview guide,
Uh-huh.
and even some peeks into how their AI platform works.
Yeah, and this is really, I think, gonna help people prep for their interviews, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like really crush those interviews.
Not even just getting the interview, but like really acing it.
Yeah, really showing them what you got.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, so first of all, like, what does an import-export specialist in chemicals actually do?
yeah, that's a good place to start,
Yeah.
because it's not just about like pushing paperwork. It's really about like orchestrating that whole global process, right?
Yeah.
Of getting those chemical products safely where they need to be all over the world.
I'm already getting the sense that this isn't your typical 9 to 5 desk job.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, the career guide even mentioned offices, warehouses,
Hmm.
maybe even some international travel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, picture this. One day you could be like at a busy port,
Wow.
inspecting all the shipments, making sure everything's in order. And then the next, you're jetting off to another continent, maybe to negotiate a big deal with a supplier.
Okay, hold on. That sounds really appealing.
Right.
But the guide also mentions like high stress and long hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm guessing those regulations they're no joke, right?
No, they're definitely not a walk in the park, that's for sure.
Yeah,
There's a lot of responsibility when you're dealing with chemical products.
I bet.
But honestly, if you're someone who really thrives in that kind of environment,
Yeah,
fast-paced, complex challenges, it can be really rewarding.
yeah. Okay, so we got a little taste of what this is all about, but now let's talk strategy.
Okay, yeah.
So the interview guide from RoleCatcher, they had some really good insights on how to handle those tough interview questions. Are you ready to get into it?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's dive right in.
All right, so let's start with, I think this one is a big one that trips people up.
Uh-huh.
How do you ensure compliance with environmental regulations in the import-export process?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a mouthful, but I bet the hiring managers
It is.
really want to see if you know your stuff.
They definitely want to see that you understand how important these regulations are, especially with chemical products,
Of course.
You got to show them you're not just aware of the rules, but you really get the environmental concerns and how to, like, handle them.
So how do we craft a response, like a really good response?
Okay, so a good starting point is mentioning those key international agreements,
Okay.
like the Basel Convention and the Rotterdam Convention.
Okay, so that shows you're thinking globally.
Yeah, that you understand the big picture.
But how do we make it more personal, make it really impactful for the interviewer?
Yeah, you got to bring in your own experience, right?
Okay.
So talk about a specific time when you, like, aced a really tough regulatory challenge.
Like, give an example.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe you had to, I don't know, find a completely different shipping route to avoid like a sensitive ecological area, or maybe you implemented a whole new labeling system to meet like a specific country's requirements.
Okay, so it's all about proving you can not only just follow the rules, but you can think outside the box and still be compliant.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It can help you tailor your answers
Uh-huh.
based on the specific company
Mm-hmm.
and what their environmental practices are.
Exactly. So you can really zero in on what matters most to them.
Whoa, okay, so I can be super prepared.
You'll be ready for anything.
Yeah, and it even gives feedback on like how you're saying things.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
having a personal coach in your pocket, helping you nail that delivery.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Mm.
Okay, all right, so let's move on to another question. This one is, I think this one's going to come up a lot.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Can you describe your experience working with hazardous materials in the import-export process?
Oh, that's a crucial one, especially in the chemical industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to show them that you not only get the regulations, but you really respect the risks involved.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake here.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about checking the boxes, it's showing that you're really committed to safety.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we hit this one out of the park?
Okay, so first off, definitely mention any certifications you have.
Okay.
Like hazmat training or familiarity with GHS.
The globally harmonized system, right?
Yeah, exactly. That shows you've got the basics down.
Yeah.
But then take it a step further, share a specific example of how you like implemented safety protocols or maybe even like resolved a potential hazard in a previous job.
So instead of just saying, I've handled hazardous materials,
Mm.
I could say something like, during my time at previous company, I was responsible for overseeing the transport of hazardous material, and I made sure everything was safe by specific safety protocol.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. You can even talk about what could have happened if you didn't follow the rules. You know?
Okay, so really drive home that point.
Yeah, show them you really understand how serious it is.
Okay, this is good. I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's all about backing up your knowledge with real-world examples.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so RoleCatcher's AI can also help with this question, right?
Oh, it can be a game changer.
Yeah.
It can analyze like the specific hazardous materials that a company works with
Oh,
and give you insights into their safety protocols, potential risks.
I can really tailor my answers to show I've done my homework.
Exactly. And the feedback it gives you can help you fine-tune your language.
Wow.
Make sure you're projecting that confidence and expertise.
Okay, this AI is starting to feel like a superpower.
It can be a real advantage for sure.
All right, let's try another one. This one is about conflict resolution.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you handle disputes with suppliers or customers during the import-export process?
Ah, yes. The inevitable conflicts that come with global trade.
So how do we navigate this? This is a minefield.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's a great opportunity to show your communication skills, your negotiation skills, your problem-solving skills.
So first, I need to show that I can stay calm under pressure,
Yeah, that's crucial.
because it's easy to get stressed when things go wrong.
It is, but you got to show them you can keep a cool head and focus on solutions.
Okay, so deep breaths, stay calm. What else?
Active listening is super important.
Okay.
Make sure you really understand where the other person's coming from before you jump in with your own perspective.
Okay, so it's not about winning an argument.
No, not at all.
It's about finding that win-win.
Exactly. A mutually beneficial solution.
Okay, so how do I show that? Do I say, like, I make sure I listen to their concerns?
Yeah, you could say something like, I always make it a point to really hear their concerns and understand their perspective before I offer any solutions.
Okay, perfect.
And then, bring in an example from your own experience. A time when you successfully resolved a dispute, like maybe you negotiated a compromise on a delayed shipment, or found a creative solution to a quality control issue that made everyone happy.
Okay, so, again, real-world examples to show I can handle those tough conversations.
Yes, exactly.
All right, RoleCatcher's AI comes in handy here too, right?
It does. It can actually analyze past disputes the company has faced.
Wow.
Give you valuable context and potential talking points.
So if I know they've been struggling with supply chain issues, for example, I can address that directly.
Exactly. Show them you understand their specific challenges.
This is good.
And of course, the AI feedback can help you refine your approach.
Yeah.
Make sure you're striking the right tone, that diplomacy and problem solving.
This is really starting to feel like an unfair advantage.
It's a powerful tool, that's for sure.
Okay, before we get to more questions, I want you, the listener, to think about these 3 questions we just discussed.
Yeah, take a moment.
And what specific experiences from your career would you use in your answers?
Yeah, think about those times when you really showcased your expertise.
Yeah.
Your problem-solving skills, your commitment to compliance and safety.
Really think about it. Okay, ready for some more tough questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this next one is a little broader,
Okay.
but it's still focused on your problem-solving abilities.
Mm-hmm.
What are some common challenges you have faced in the import-export process, and how have you addressed them?
This is your chance to show how resilient and adaptable you are.
Okay.
So think about those times when things didn't go as planned,
Yeah.
like maybe a shipment was delayed
Uh-huh.
or you hit a snag with unexpected regulations.
And how did you overcome it?
Yeah, exactly. Did you find a creative workaround?
Mm-hmm.
Did you communicate proactively with everyone involved
Yeah.
to manage expectations?
That's key.
It
Yeah.
is. It's about showing that you can think on your feet, find solutions, even when you're under pressure.
And RoleCatcher's AI can really help here, right?
It can, absolutely. You can tailor your responses based on what you know about the company.
Okay.
So, for example, if you know they've been dealing with, let's say, supply chain disruptions,
Yeah.
you can focus on your experience navigating those kinds of challenges.
Okay, so do your research.
Yeah, show them you understand their specific context.
Okay, now let's talk project management.
Okay, yeah,
This is crucial for any import-export specialist
absolutely.
because you're juggling multiple shipments, deadlines. It can be a lot.
It's a lot to keep track of.
So how do we show them we can handle it?
Well, there's usually a question that directly addresses this.
Okay.
Something like, how do you manage multiple projects and deadlines in the import-export process?
It seems straightforward.
It is, but you got to answer it thoughtfully.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Highlight those organizational skills.
Okay,
Do you use any specific tools or techniques to stay organized?
like what?
Like maybe you're a whiz with project management software,
Mm-hmm.
or you have a color-coded spreadsheet system that would make Marie Kondo proud.
I like that.
Whatever your method is, explain it clearly and confidently.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention communication,
Yes, that's key.
keeping everyone in the loop.
Absolutely, because in this industry, teamwork is essential.
You're collaborating with suppliers, customers, freight forwarders.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It's a whole network of people.
It's a lot of people to keep happy.
It is, but it's also what makes this job so dynamic and interesting.
Okay, so I've given my amazing answer about how I manage multiple projects,
Uh-huh.
and then the interviewer hits me with this follow-up.
Oh, no.
But what happens when things get really crazy? How do you handle unexpected delays or changes in scope?
Okay, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, the pressure is on.
It is, but don't panic.
Okay.
This is your chance to really shine, show them you can adapt and problem solve under pressure.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Think about a time when a project threw you a curveball. How did you adjust?
Okay.
Did you delegate tasks effectively?
Did you stay late to make sure everything got done?
Okay.
Did you communicate proactively to manage everyone's expectations?
Okay, so again, real-world examples are key.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help you anticipate these kinds of follow-up questions.
It's like having a crystal ball that shows you what the interviewer might ask next.
Okay, before we move on, I want you to think about your own project management style.
Mm-hmm.
What tools or techniques do you rely on to stay organized and meet those deadlines?
Yeah. Think about what works for you.
Yeah.
And how you can always keep improving.
Continuous improvement.
That's the key to success, especially in a field as dynamic as import-export.
This is good stuff. All right, we'll be back with more questions after a quick break,
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive.
where we're figuring out how to ace that import-export specialist interview.
Exactly.
All right, so last time we talked about some pretty tough questions, regulations, hazardous materials, even conflict resolution.
Now, let's get into a question that lets you really show your passion.
Okay.
What inspired you to pursue a career as an import-export specialist in chemical products?
That's a good one.
Yeah, it seems simple,
Yeah,
but it's a chance for you to really connect with the interviewer.
absolutely. It's your opportunity to show them why you're not just looking for any job.
Yeah.
You're looking for a career that you're truly excited about.
Okay, so how do we make our answers stand out?
Well, the key is to be genuine,
Right.
Share a personal story, something that sparked your interest in this field.
Okay.
Don't just say, I like international business.
Mhm.
Tell them about a specific experience, like
Yeah.
what maybe you traveled somewhere and saw global trade in action.
Yeah.
Or maybe you had a mentor who inspired you with their stories about the chemical industry.
So a personal touch.
Yeah, it makes you memorable.
And if I have international experience, I should definitely mention that, right?
Absolutely. Anything like studying abroad, knowing another language, even just a passion for different cultures, weave that in.
Okay, so it shows I'm not just interested in the logistics.
Right.
I'm interested in the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So instead of saying I like a challenge, I could say my fascination with global trade started when personal story.
Yeah, perfect.
And that experience really made me want to connect with the world through commerce.
I like it.
And the chemical industry, with its global reach, felt like the right fit.
That's great. It's personal. It's engaging. It shows real passion.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, now I want you, the listener, to think about what inspired you.
Yeah, what got you interested in this field?
What keeps you motivated?
Take a minute to reflect on your own journey.
Yeah.
What experiences have shaped your path?
Okay, let's get back to the interview.
Sounds good.
We've talked a lot about staying up to date on regulations, but how do you actually prove that?
Yeah, good question.
Because I bet hiring managers want to see more than just, oh, I read industry news.
Of course they want specifics. So be ready for a question like, how do you stay up to date on changes in import-export regulations?
Right.
This is where you show them you're committed to continuous learning.
It's not just about cramming for the interview, it's about being genuinely interested.
Exactly.
So what do I say?
Mention specific sources you use, industry publications, professional organizations, government websites, even online forums where you can connect with other professionals.
So instead of I read industry news, I could say I actively participate in organization name, I attend their webinars, And I subscribe to publication name for in-depth analysis.
Perfect. That shows you're proactive.
Okay, and certifications.
Oh, yeah. If you're working towards a designation like Certified International Trade Professional,
Yeah.
definitely mention that.
It shows I'm serious about my career.
It does. It's like leveling up your skills.
Okay, speaking of career growth,
Mm-hmm.
the career guide from RoleCatcher had some interesting insights about different career paths.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of options.
So what are some of the highlights?
Well, you could specialize in a particular type of chemical product, become a real expert in that niche market,
Like what?
like polymers, pharmaceuticals, specialty chemicals, anything like that.
Okay, so become the go-to person for a specific product.
Exactly. Build a reputation as a specialist.
Or I could go into management,
Yeah, definitely.
climb that ladder.
Yep. Lead teams, oversee bigger operations, develop strategies.
So there's room for leadership growth too.
Absolutely. If you're ambitious, you can definitely move up in this field.
This is good to know. And the career guide also talked about continuous learning,
Oh, yeah, they emphasize that a lot.
they suggest.
Taking courses or getting certifications in areas like trade finance, supply chain management, risk management,
Right.
even data analytics.
So always be learning.
Exactly. It shows you're committed to growth.
And that ties back to that question about staying up to date.
It does. It all connects.
Okay, so how does RoleCatcher's AI help with finding the right opportunities?
Oh, their matching system is really impressive.
Tell me more.
Imagine this. You upload your resume,
Okay.
and their AI goes to work analyzing your skills, your experience, your goals.
Uh-huh.
Then it compares your profile to thousands of job openings,
Wow.
and it finds the best matches for you.
So it's like a personal headhunter.
Exactly. It's working behind the scenes to find those hidden gems.
And I can get alerts, right?
You can, so you'll know the minute a new job that fits your criteria pops up.
No more endless scrolling through job boards.
Nope. The AI does the work for you.
That's amazing. Okay, before we get back to those interview questions,
Mm-hmm.
what are your career aspirations?
Yeah, think about it.
Do you see yourself specializing or going into management?
Take some time to envision your ideal path.
Yeah, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years?
What steps can you take now to get there?
Good questions. And RoleCatcher has a tool called Career Compass that can help, right?
They do. It's like a GPS for your career.
I like that. Okay, let's talk about teamwork.
Okay.
In this industry, you're always collaborating with people from different departments, companies, even countries.
It's all about teamwork.
So how do I show that I'm a team player?
Well, be prepared to share specific examples.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm a team player. That's too vague.
Right.
Talk about a project where you collaborated with colleagues from different departments.
Okay.
Highlight your contributions, how your teamwork led to success.
So I could say, I worked with colleagues from different departments to overcome a regulatory challenge, and my contributions, like specific contribution, helped us achieve a positive outcome.
Perfect. Exactly like that.
Okay, and emphasize communication, right?
Absolutely. Active listening, finding common ground.
Because not everyone will agree with me all the time.
That's true, but you need to show you can navigate those differences.
Diplomatically.
Yes, and find solutions that work for everyone.
Okay, so if we were the interviewer, what would WE be looking for in a team player?
Think about what's important in this industry.
Someone who's knowledgeable, adaptable, resilient, a good communicator.
Yes, all of that.
Someone who can handle conflict and contribute positively.
Someone who understands that teamwork is essential for success in import-export.
Okay, now for a question that everyone dreads.
Oh no, which one?
Tell me about your weaknesses.
The classic weakness question.
Yeah, it makes me nervous.
I know, but it's not a trap.
Oh,
It's a chance to show self-awareness.
and that I'm willing to grow.
Exactly.
So what's the key here?
Choose a weakness that's not a deal breaker for the role,
No.
and then explain how you're working to improve.
Like what?
Like, let's say you tend to get lost in the details.
Which in this field could be a problem,
It could be, yeah.
but I can frame it positively, right?
You could say something like, I'm very detail-oriented, which is helpful in this role, but I'm also learning to delegate tasks and focus on the bigger picture so I don't get bogged down.
So turn that weakness into a strength.
Exactly.
Okay, now think about your weaknesses.
Yeah, what's one area you could improve?
And what are you doing to work on it?
Remember, everyone has weaknesses. It's how we address them that matters.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
Where we're helping you become an import-export specialist.
That's right, and we're going to focus on those tricky behavioral interview questions today.
Yeah, the ones where they ask you to tell a story.
Yeah, a story about how you handled a tough situation in the past.
These questions are really all about getting to know you know?
Yeah, how do you react under pressure?
Exactly.
Can you solve problems?
They want to see if you've got what it takes to succeed in this industry.
All right, so let's jump into a classic.
Okay.
Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer or supplier.
Oh, yeah, everyone's got a story about that.
Right, but how do you turn a potential rant into a positive example of your skills?
That's the challenge.
So the interview guide says, focus on the positive, don't dwell on the negativity. Highlight how you stayed calm, listened, and found a solution.
And remember the STAR method.
Situation, task, action, result.
Exactly. It's a great way to structure your response.
Okay, so let's say a supplier kept missing deadlines, and it was messing up our production schedule. Instead of getting frustrated, I could say, I scheduled a meeting with the supplier to understand why the delays were happening. We talked about solutions, and I worked with them to create a new production timeline that worked for both of us. As a result, we got back on schedule and avoided any more problems.
That's great. You clearly explain the situation, what you did, and the positive outcome.
Yeah, and it shows I can handle those supplier relationships.
It does.
Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Think about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer or supplier.
Yeah. How did you handle it?
What was the outcome?
Take a minute to reflect on that situation.
Okay, now for a question that could be a little scary.
Okay. What is it?
Tell me about a time you made a mistake.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it feels like a trap.
It can, but it's really about showing that you're humble and that you're willing to learn from your mistakes.
The interview guide says everyone makes mistakes.
Of course.
It's what you do after that matters.
Exactly.
So be honest, explain what happened, how you fixed it, and what you learned.
Yeah, own it.
Here's a tip. Connect the mistake to a positive quality.
Okay, I like that.
So, for example, I was trying so hard to meet a deadline that I missed an important detail in the shipping documents. That caused a delay in customs, and we had to pay extra fees. But I took responsibility for the mistake, worked with the freight forwarder to fix it, and now I double-check everything to prevent it from happening again.
That's a good example. You admitted the mistake, but you also showed that you're committed to accuracy and that you learn from the experience. It's about turning that negative into a positive.
All right, now think about a mistake you made.
Uh-huh.
How did you handle it?
What did you learn?
Okay, let's step away from the interview questions for a minute and talk about networking.
Okay, yeah, that's important.
The career guide says networking is crucial for success.
It is. It's about building relationships, learning from others.
So attending industry events, joining professional organizations, connecting on LinkedIn.
All great ways to expand your network.
The guide even suggests reaching out to people who work at companies you're interested in.
You can do that.
Yeah, it can be intimidating, but it's worth it.
People are usually happy to share their experiences, offer advice.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help with this too, right?
Absolutely. They have a networking feature.
Yeah, it helps you organize your contacts, track your interactions.
And even find potential connections based on shared interests.
It's like a CRM for your network.
It is.
So build that network. It can open doors for you.
It definitely can.
All right, back to the interview questions.
Okay.
We've got one more behavioral question, and it's all about pressure.
Oh, here we go.
Tell me about a time you had to work under pressure.
A classic.
This industry is full of pressure, tight deadlines, unexpected problems.
You got to be able to handle it.
So choose a situation where you faced a lot of pressure. Maybe a shipment was delayed, a deadline was approaching.
Yeah.
Explain how you handled it, how you prioritized, delegated.
Yeah.
Did you stay late?
Did you communicate clearly with everyone involved?
And highlight the positive outcome.
Did you meet the deadline, solve the problem?
Show them you can not only handle the pressure, but you can thrive under it.
That's what they want to see.
Okay, last challenge for you.
Okay.
Think about a time you had to work under pressure.
Yeah, what did you do?
What strategies did you use?
How did you succeed?
And that's it for our deep dive into the world of import-export specialists.
We covered a lot.
We talked about what the job's all about, how to answer those tough interview questions.
We even talked about career paths and networking.
And of course, how RoleCatcher's AI can help you every step of the way.
It's a really valuable tool.
So take what you've learned, put in the work, and go after those opportunities.
You got this.
And remember, RoleCatcher is there to help you succeed.
They really are.
That's all for today. Keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
See you soon.